Folks, welcome to Retro Reload. I am DashV. This is the month of October, and this is a stuffed black cat. However, one of those three things has nothing to do with today's show. You can guess which. Um, Jeremy, do you want to load us up with the news?
I got nothing. I don't even have my computer with me right now.
You got nothing? No, come on, that's not true.
Well, we got the one I'll say at the end of the show.
No, I thought you were going to introduce us on the Nintendo. You guys have heard Nintendo has the NX reportedly has quote industry-leading tech and a 2016 release date. This is on IGN.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I think about the.
So according to IGN.com, they're quoting something from the Wall Street Journal where they claim that sources are saying. I love that term. Like sources are saying. It's like the kid's It's like the guy's 5-year-old, right? Says like, "Daddy, what if the NX came out like next year?" And he's like, "Oh my God, I gotta write an article on that right now." Sources say the NX. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say that it can't come out in 2016, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll believe that. Like, I believed Zelda was gonna come out in 2015.
Mhm.
So, I mean, maybe Nintendo is targeting 2016, but if that is the case, then I guess what I gotta say is Nintendo's habit lately of announcing, Zelda will be out 2015. Oops, we actually meant early 2016. Star Fox will be out late 2015. Oops, actually, for that even, we mean early 2016.
That's why I don't think the NX will release next year, because those two games alone.
Well, but then they say that those two games are definitely, they've sworn up and down that they're not repurposing them for NX, that those games, will be coming out on Wii U. So if they're not lying, which I don't really see why they would, it's not like they're going to prop up sales of a failing console, right? But, I mean, what is there to really prop up? Either people are buying it or they're not. So, I think, in this particular case, though, maybe this Nintendo, over the last couple years, they really seem to be a Nintendo that kind of sets, I think, stretch goals for themselves. Hey, let's shoot for this target date. And then they get the game like 80 to 90% there. And during the whole time, they're able to kind of control the hype train and like see what people think about it. Do people care? Are people happy, sad? And then, if it looks like there's a real groundswell of support for it, they say, okay, you know what, we're close, but let's spend a couple extra months really polishing this thing and getting it, really, really ready. So I think if Nintendo does have an NX target of sometime in 2016, it's probably a soft target. It's probably something for them to make sure they got their ducks in a row. And even if they announce the date, I would expect it to get pushed into 2017. That's just me. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with you in that regard because, I mean, Nintendo you're right, they do have kind of a track record of pushing things back. And, I mean, it seems really sudden to just come out and say, well, I mean, they hadn't even come out. It's the Wall Street Journal saying that this is happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just over a year turnaround from not even an official word to a launch, supposedly.
Yeah, I mean
I don't see that happening.
I mean, they would have to announce the launch date at like E3 next year.
I think it'd be earlier than E3. It has to be in February. So I think E3 would be too late. If you're doing a 2015, maybe in the Christmas time, I think E3, June, 6 months? I think that's a little too late because
I think it depends on when they were targeting, though, right? Like, because it all gets to what you mean by 2016. Like, if they were going for like a December 1st, 2016, if they were going for like a Christmas release, E3 would be perfect because
I think that's what's going to happen.
They could have dead silence until June, basically, and then in June you've only got from June to December for the hype train, and they don't really have to have a whole lot of information to show for it. If it's true, I mean, according to this, they say that Nintendo is apparently sending out dev kits for its upcoming NX console and revealing new details about the system. So, I mean, if they're sending out dev kits, From now until June would be enough time for developers to at least have initial code up and running on it, and Nintendo might actually, have some stuff to kind of hype.
Well, yeah, because sorry.
I was just going to say, if they're smart, they're not going to go into this next generation alone. Hopefully they're going to have strong third-party support. But where I'm a skeptic, you could have some toy demo stuff maybe to show off at E3 if developers were getting their kits now and starting now to bring their stuff over. But I don't think anybody, third or first party, I mean, unless Nintendo, which they've been known to do, has been working on stuff in secret, then I don't see anybody being able to actually put together a game that's worth playing, much less, have a whole library by December 1st of next year. It just doesn't seem.
But do you think they'll show the actual console at E3? I would think they do it before, like maybe a month before, then show what they have at E3.
They might have like a Wii Sports-ish type demo there.
Yeah, they may not show the actual console itself, but yeah, they'll have some sort of tech demo. They have to.
Absolutely.
I was thinking more like what Sony and Microsoft did.
Go ahead.
Like, how Sony and Microsoft, they did their announcement completely separate from E3 and then show everything at E3 what they're doing. I would think Nintendo go that route. Have a separate event like a month before. So, we're announcing NX. Tune in for E3. You'll see what we're doing.
Well, the thing about Nintendo is they've got their Nintendo Direct series that they do. So, I don't think, at least in recent years, E3 has not really been like a big deal to them. It doesn't seem like they would rather show it off on their own time, their own service.
That's what I mean. When they're gonna show the NX on their own time and separate event, like a month before, they're like, okay, tune in to E3. We'll show you more.
Yeah, that could definitely be. In terms of actually the launching 2016, I'm not gonna say it couldn't happen, but I will say unless they show me something that's oh my God, I have to have it. I don't really see myself joining them for the launch party.
Well, there's two things that I've kind of heard. I'm sorry to cut you off there. There's two separate things, I should say. They're not even related, really. The first is, pretty much any hardware manufacturer. Any of them. From the moment that the Wii U launched, I'm sure they were working on the NX in the background. They have to have been working on it for this many years already.
Yeah.
So, but that's just a hardware point. So I'm sure they've probably got something ready now, but it's not ready to show. The other thing is that I've heard somewhere, I can't remember where I heard this now. I heard it just yesterday, I believe, that Square Enix has already announced Dragon Quest 11, I think, for the NX, whatever it is. So it sounds to me like they've probably already got a dev kit and have had something for a while. So when these dev kits get sent out, I don't know. Yeah. I don't think it's right now. I think they've probably had them for a little bit.
Oh, the big publishers, yeah, they've had that for a while because they just announced for the smaller guys to get them.
Yeah. So according to this, the other thing too is this is incredibly devoid on details, right? It's basically the entire article, right? Nintendo's currently sending out dev kits for its upcoming NX console, revealing new details about the system. Wall Street Journal claims sources claim that the console will come with quote industry-leading chips, whatever the hell that means. Sure, it can compete with the PS4 and Xbox One. They also mentioned a mobile unit that can be either used in conjunction with the console or taken on the road for separate use. Here's my theory about this mobile unit that could either be used in conjunction with the console or taken on the road for separate use. I think it's the new 3DS XL.
I think it's to be separate.
So I don't know. I guess the reason why you might be totally right, Jeremy. The only reason that I'm going with the new 3DS XL is a couple things. One, why do a hardware refresh that just gives it more oomph? That's really only there's only 2 games that are actually taking advantage of it. It was mostly networking capabilities, so streaming speed and that kind of stuff, and the video processor that got updated Why would they do that unless they were getting ready to pump high-def graphics from a remote console into it, and they'd want to do that without frame drop? Another reason why I think they might be doing the new 3DS XL as kind of a way to pair with the NX is the danger that they run into is if they make a new portable that pairs with the NX, that could cannibalize new 3DS sales
My
because
theory, and I
they'll
hope I'm
effectively
wrong.
be competing
Okay.
with themselves.
Mhm.
I think, and I really hope I'm wrong on this, it's going to be a mini version of the Wii U gamepad. And I really hope I'm wrong on that because I would not want to look something like that around.
Yeah, I guess the reason why I would think that it could be. It could be. The reason why I'm thinking, like, if it were me, I wouldn't go that route, is because, again, like, so I'm going to compete with my own console, or my own handheld, and then the other problem is going to be backward compatibility. Most of the sales that they get, the reason why their launches are so successful when they launch new kits is because, at least in the handheld arena, the new one is almost always backward compatible at least one or two generations back. So why am I going to invest in a game library for a new handheld if the only drawing point of it is that I can go and I can connect to my I can go and I can connect to I can tether it to my NX. Well, why couldn't you just tether my 3DS over Wi-Fi and my entire 3DS library is available when I'm not tethered?
I hope you're right, though. I hope it's like that because it justifies me to buy a 3DS for more, you know? If I do want one,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, if
Yeah.
that's the case, I really should buy it.
Well, and I think it would prop up sales of the 3DS because I do think the 3DS has been hit significantly by mobile gaming. However, there's still a hell of a collection of games that are exclusive to 3DS that you can't get on mobile. So I think that I think that the fact that there are so many exclusive 3DS that you can't get on mobile, the fact that it is taking a hit to mobile, um, I think they're best. Here's the other reason why I think it would be 3DS is because there's a couple ways that Nintendo could do it. You could bundle the NX with the 3DS. You could do that. You could also go the route of you buy the NX and there's certain capabilities out of box. However, depending on the game, there's additional capabilities if you pair it with your 3DS. So they could either do it as like one big hit bundle, get everything, right? Or they could even do the whole just buy the NX. That's all you need. Because a lot of people's complaints about the Wii U was that they didn't like the fact that they had to pay $300 because it included a $120 controller that
Yeah.
only one player could use. If you do 3DS, maybe you could stream to multiple 3DSs, right? And again, if
That'd
you
be kind of
don't
cool.
have it, it'd be kind of like the Game Boy Advance games when you could, like Crystal Chronicles and things like that for the GameCube, where you could hook your Game Boy Advance up to the GameCube, and you could use the Game Boy Advance screen, and you could have up to 4 other players using their Game Boy Advance screen, or you could just play it normal on the TV. I almost see them going back and doing something like that with the NX and propping up sales of their existing portable while at the same time delivering functionality very similar to what the Wii U was. But now you're paying $300 for better horsepower in the NX. You're not paying money for a console that's gimped by the fact that you have a handheld controller.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard that same theory before, and it does sound plausible. The only thing that I don't have anything to really back this up, but I've heard, again, somewhere, I don't remember where, that it would be sort of like there was like a base unit, and then you could take it also with you. But it wasn't like one was tied to the other, in a sense. So, I mean, it seems like you would have like a regular controller as well to play on your TV, and then to take it with you on the 3DS or whatever. So I don't know if it would necessarily be. I mean, I could see the games being
Unless they're going to go
compatible, but I don't see the
digital.
3DS being the actual controller only.
Yeah,
I mean, I
well,
don't know.
unless they're going to go full digital with it and say that it's compatible with 3DS eShop downloads, right? I think I think especially at launch, the challenge is going to be so the NX is out, and let's say like there's like 10 games that come out for it. I mean, it's going to be coming out like I mean this year closing and next year. I mean, Sony and Microsoft are really bringing some A games. There's some really strong titles coming out in the way of the new Tomb Raider and several other games. I don't really see a console hitting at the very end of the year with 10 games and a new portable
Yeah.
really taking hold unless some of those things have tie-ins to your previous investment. Because we already have seen from PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that their adoption rates were not what either company had expected. And one of the things Microsoft's done to try to prop that up is reintroduce the concept of, okay, guess what? We'll bring the old games along for the ride. We'll give you backward compatibility. Now will you make a jump? And pushing some folks over the edge. But anyway, rumors persist, right, that there's a launch for these things. They say that there's dev kits going out. But there's still some question as to whether or not this is going to be digital only, type box. Personally, I'm of the mindset that I think we're close, but still not quite there yet for digital only. I think we're incredibly close. This is probably the console generation that brought us the closest. But something that I think is weird that we're kind of at the apex of is we're at that point where stuff has been around long enough where now people are getting into PS4 and they're realizing, oh shit, none of my digital purchases come along. Well, I understand why the physical purchases didn't come along, but I don't understand why my PSN store purchases didn't come along. That's kind of silly. So folks are kind of understanding that digital basically turns to dust pretty darn quick. And I'm not going to say that there's going to be like this huge backlash, because I don't see that. But I do think that there is a increasing awareness of the temporariness of digital. We've had it long enough now for people to see games just disappear, just get delisted because a license expires, and now you can't get that game. I actually saw somebody rage posting on Facebook. They posted on their wall like, WTF, I finally get around to adding Scott Pilgrim versus the World League game to my shopping cart, only to find out it's nowhere to be found on the Xbox or PSN store. Yes, my friend, I'm sorry you waited too damn long, and now you can't buy what was one of the best-selling games for 6 months running. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
And I've seen a lot of gamers. They don't want digital copies. I've seen so many people say, "I do not want digital. I want physical. I want to be able to sell my games. I want to be able to see my games." So there's still hope for our gaming community.
Absolutely, and I'm not going to say that that's the majority of people, because I don't think that it is yet.
I don't think so either.
And I'm not going to say that that's going to become the norm, right? Going back to full physical, but I do think that it's going to be enough to where it's going to give pause to folks like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Until the voices for digital are just so far in the minority that they don't care about losing the sales. I think they're going to still hold out digital. I mean, especially now, you see, Shovel Knight. It's been digital for how long, and they're going physical. Why? Because there's still, right, and even it was a limited run, but even what was that game? Retro City Rampage had limited physical runs on the different consoles because the developers themselves said, now we're a legit game. So there's still this stigma, right, that unless you have a physical box and a manual and all that other stuff, right, you're not legit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I think once that stops being it, once a majority of the folks are over having to have a physical release to kind of say, okay, bam, look at the footprint on the industry, then I think you'll see it kind of, cut over. But I don't think we're quite there yet. And depending how, I really think it's this console generation that will determine whether or not the next can be full digital. So the reason that I say that is because it all depends on, with more games than ever being digital only now, it's all about how many of those things get delisted. How many games do you pull from people's consoles after they've already bought and paid for it? Which happen in some isolated cases where, like, usually if the game just gets delisted, new people can buy it. But there's been some fringe cases, mostly on iPhone and mobile platforms. There's been some cases where, even though you paid for it and you previously downloaded it, you just can't use it anymore. No, it's done. You don't support it. iOS happens quite frequently. Android even. You can't get Sonic the Hedgehog for Android anymore because the operating system got updated in such a way the game doesn't play. They're not going to fix it. So you just lose out on that game even though you paid for it. Or you decide that you want to stay with an older OS that's buggy and has security problems.
That's what I do.
So, but not everybody, right? Majority of people aren't going to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
At that point. So I think it really depends how many games. I think if that happens with AAA games, enough AAA games with high visibility, I think people will say, F this, I'm not going to trust digital. I think if they're careful with it, they could easily walk us down the path of, hey, look, you like your patches, you like your added DLC and stuff like that. Digital's the way that you gotta go to make all this viable. So most games for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo now aren't even coming with manuals anymore. It's all digital. So they're slowly reducing the physical footprint anyway. I mean, once it gets down to you have a disc that you pop in that just installs a binary to the hard drive anyway, it starts to, which is the case with a lot of these physical, digital to physical. I have Okami for the PlayStation 3 in physical form. I imported it from Asia, and you pop in the disc, it does the 6 gig install to your hard drive, and then basically disc is just it's just the CD key that tells it you're allowed to play the game. For all intents and purposes, the game's running off your hard drive. So whether you dumped it off a disc or pulled it off the PlayStation Network, it's kind of immaterial at that point. So a lot of people speculating that the NX is going to be digital only. I'm saying probably not yet.
Oh yeah, because I think all they've said is it won't have an optical drive, right? I mean, that's the last word on that. So, I'm still hoping for cartridges in some
Which
form.
could mean, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean that they go for cartridges. Something that somebody actually brought up, which was like, wow, it's actually really intelligent. Compact flash, right? It would be super easy to repurpose, custom labeled compact flashes as the new form factor. You can store gigabytes and gigabytes of data. You still got the physical cartridge, form for it. Save and load is super easy. You just make only a certain subsection of the compact flash rewritable. I mean, it's an existing form factor. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to use, but I think a lot of people ruled out physical purely because of optical drives, forgetting that for almost 2 decades, right, we got along just fine without optical drives.
Well, there's, because I brought that up on, I don't know when it was, a few episodes ago, that now, you're exactly right, flash memory, it holds so much more than a disk now, and it's so much more cheaper to manufacture and just to have, I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't see any reason to go optical anymore.
These little things, they can hold 32 gig. That's pretty insane. So this is a 1 gig. This one right here is actually a 1 gig card. And using it, and I'm actually going to get us on to the main topic for tonight. Using a Harmony cartridge, I can actually have one Atari cartridge that holds every friggin' Atari game ever released, and the ones that were never released. So tons of homebrew, all that kind of stuff. This is the Harmony Encore, which is really cool. You can buy it on a Atari 8. So
how much?
I don't remember. It's under $100.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in a genuine Atari cartridge. It does work in both the 7800 model and the 2600 model. Um, Important thing to note, on the 7800, it will only play 7800 games.
That's. I am not gonna finish that sentence.
Hang on, before you go getting all emotional and saying that's a ripoff, there actually is.
I was gonna say that's bullshit.
There's a good reason why. Okay, I've got with me. Let me grab a 7800 game.
So you're saying if I want, I have to go buy a 2600 now? Damn it.
Let me grab. Okay, so here's Galaga. Man, I gotta get used to the new camera placement here. Here's Galaga and Haunted House, right? Galaga is a 7800 game. Haunted House is a 2600 game. And let me see here. I can get. Let me see if I can get in here. All right. This is what the inside of a 7800 game looks like. Notice the board?
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to show you. This is what the inside of a 7800 game looks like. This is the 7800 game right here. This is the 2600 game.
All right.
So, notice the two extra boards to the right and left.
I see it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Super FX, right? The 7800 has more pins than the 2600, and those pins are essential to the 7800 boot process, allowing it to detect whether or not the game is a 7800 game or a 2600 game. The practical upshot is, if you look at the Harmony, as it was originally produced, does not contain the extra pins that would be required to talk to the 7800. So while yes, you could put 7800 ROMs on here, and yes, the cartridge physically fits into the 7800, you cannot, there's no like easy hackery way to get the 7800 to load a 2800 ROM from a 2800 board and then switch to 7800 mode. So he's not trying to like game you for your money. He's not trying to rip you off. It's just at the time when he built it, materials and firmware wise, he only really had the resources to devote it to 2600 support.
Damn it, Dash! It's all your fault.
So now that said, there's another Harmony cartridge coming out called the Concerto, and the Concerto actually will support the 7800.
I'm about to check it. Send me a link later. I want to check that out because
I will send you a link. It's still, I don't have the full details on the Concerto. The gentleman, he's called Batari, B-A-T-A-R-I.
Okay.
But Batari is basically the developer of a couple of things. He made a programming language for the Atari called Batari Basic, and then he also, you can actually use it to write code in a very basic like language, and it will actually, people have built games and stuff like that, actual game ROMs and everything that run on the Atari 2600 in Batari Basic. So that's pretty cool. But then he also developed these. He sold the Concerto at the PGRE, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I unfortunately was not able to attend those, so I wasn't able to get one of the early. So, but I will get you more details on that as they're available to me.
Just to interject here, the Harmony Encore is $84.99 from what I can find out. So.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I
So
just said
know.
shut up and take my money, and then it showed up in my mail like a week later.
Thanks for telling me. I'm about to buy it later.
Although I don't see it on the Atari Age store. I had to go somewhere else, which was kind of odd.
No, you have to go to, I think it's harmony.atariage.com.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where you have to go. They made a
So
whole
now-
separate section. So
Now I'm buying 2600. Damn it. What money to spend?
Well, wait a minute. You have to buy a 2600. Why?
Well, I've always wanted it, first of all. It just might as well now.
The 78. To be clear, maybe I was not clear. The 7800 will play both 2600 games
Oh, I knew that.
and 7800 games.
Most 2600 games.
Yeah, there's like two that aren't really worth even mentioning. But by the way, it's only a subset of the 7800s that won't play all of it.
Really?
The first run had a problem that they fixed in subsequent runs.
Because my 7800 is sitting here collecting dust, and I haven't plugged it into the TV.
You can also mod your if you have one of the early launch models of the 7800 that didn't support it, there's like a mod you can do to the board that'll actually support it. So, but to be clear, it's the Harmony that will only play 2600 games on the 7800.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't need to buy one then.
So if you want the Harmony, and you understand it's only going to play 2600 games.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
You plug it into. This will work with the 7800, no problem.
Does it come with the games right away, or do I have to download them?
Well, here's the cool thing, and I can put a link to this in the Doodle Leader. If you go to the aforementioned Atari age, that is like homebrew heaven for the Atari 2600, and there are some fantastic games for the 2600 that have been released just recently. There's a version of Pac-Man, for example, that has arcade-accurate ghost movement, level layouts. It's got the animations from the arcade and the sound. They use stock sound from the original Atari.
That's awesome.
And it's damn near spot on. I mean, it's really good. There's versions of Donkey Kong that have had similar treatment. There's versions of Asteroids. There's also a game called Hanky the Panda, which is like a kind of like a platformer Mario type game, which is impressive as all hell to see up and running on the Atari. It's easily got some of the best platformer controls and gameplay of any game that was ever released on the Atari, homebrew or otherwise. And amazingly enough, Hanky the Panda has never had a physical release. Most of the homebrew on Atari age, Tyler, you probably saw in their store, mostly homebrew.
There's a lot.
It's new homebrew, and you get boxes, you get manuals, you get cartridges. It's really pretty sweet. But just about all those games have also been released by the authors in ROM form, and you can download them in the Atari Age forum. I'll put a link to some of the topics that collect together the best of the best. But yeah, I have over 100 homebrew games on the Harmony. So even if you don't have, an Atari ROM library or whatever, out of the box, you can easily just go to Atari Age and download plenty of stuff to kill a weekend. So hopefully that answers your question, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Definitely.
Yeah. So, I did want to actually, because it is Halloween, I want to ask you guys: have any of you guys ever played Haunted House for the Atari?
No.
No?
Yeah, I did, and I mentioned it when we were talking about the games that scared us as kids. That was one of the ones that scared me as a kid.
It was the
Those eyes, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I got a surprise for you.
Or relive his terror.
I am going to actually, yes, I actually have. I'm going to switch over to it. Just a moment here. All right, you should see part of my screen there.
I see that.
have, my friends.
Damn it.
I have Haunted House on the Atari. Loaded up in Stella. As already demonstrated, I do own full up and legit the actual. I hate how they do that. Like I always hold them upside down. I have the legit cartridge. Actually, I've got 3 copies of this.
So we don't need to get rated by you.
We don't need to get rated by the software piracy and
all those guys.
society. Whatever they're calling themselves these days, I don't even know. I get all my games legit, and I just don't worry about it. So, trying to load up my. I have to unplug and then replug it.
Speaking of things, I was going through my Xboxes. I had 3 of the original Halos. I was like, wow.
So these are the eyeballs. Can you guys see? These are the eyeballs that would freak out Tyler
I
Pugmire.
can barely see it. I'll have to go back later and watch it.
Yeah, I don't know why it did. It's just, I don't know.
Tyler's gonna have nightmares tonight. Watch.
Cool how they did it. You know, the eyes. When you, the key is that the eyes go in whatever direction you're going in, right?
Okay, I see him. I see the eyes moving now on my screen. Okay, I see how it makes
Yeah.
it kind of creepy as a kid.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the game, and now you could actually. Here's the purpose of the game, right? You have, um, been trapped in Old Man Graves' mansion. And when Old Man Graves died, there was an urn in his house that was scattered into pieces. And you're trying to go into the house, retrieve all the missing pieces of the urn to reassemble it, and then get back out of the house before you get captured by a spider, a bat, or the ghost of Graves himself. So,
I hate spiders too.
so here's aforementioned bat. There are multiple floors in the mansion, and as you notice, I'm in the dark, so all you can see are my eyes. I can use matches,
That's cool.
but I think there's a limit to the number of matches. Alright, here's one piece that I got out of the urn. The game every time randomly places the urn. Okay, cool. I think I only need like one more piece. This might be the shortest game of Haunted House I ever played. And your matches do run out, by the way, from time to time. So I just went upstairs. I'm just kind of walking around, seeing what's up here.
I don't know why it might be so basic, but I still find Atari games fun.
This game in particular I find very fun. This is one of those games where it did have, an ending. Oh, there's the spider. And just wait for him. Oh, he saw me. Oh, crap.
Oh crap! Spiders down there too.
Oh, shit. Oops, I swore on the show. Sorry, I just blew our rating for today. Ooh, I got all the pieces. Yahtzee.
That was pretty quick.
Oops. Did I make it?
So now what do you do?
Ah!
You're missing something. Oh, he got out.
Okay.
I beat it.
Do you got ET?
So I was actually surprised because I tried a couple games before the show, and like I said, the turn placement is random every time, so you don't really know what you're gonna get. The couple games I played before the show, I ended up totally biting it. I think I'll do one more kind of playthrough because we didn't even get to see the Ghost of Graves. So, see here.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I think that if I had known what I was doing as a kid, it probably wouldn't have bothered me. But yeah, because I've never really known what I was doing. So.
I think no kidding? Is this giving me like the same layout? Wow.
But
That was like super easy. I just beat it
I
again.
just beat it like in 30 seconds.
speed run. There you go.
Jeepers. Alright, let me see. Is it? Oh, I almost bit it right away. Whoa!
He was from beating in 30 seconds to dying in 5 seconds.
Now it's taking me to. Oh, I accidentally just reset it. I didn't mean to do that. The game just took me to school. What in the world? Dude, seriously?
It's like all in the same spot.
I just beat it again. I
Wow.
swear to God, the actual game was more difficult than this. Here, let me try different levels. You can set it at different levels of difficulty. Let me try.
The hardest.
Oh, that one's interesting. All of these ones you can't actually see.
Can't see the walls either. Okay.
Can't see the walls either. So let me try one of those.
Oh god.
Alright, this one's a little more.
Talk about Nintendo hard, Atari hard.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I think it's the same area still.
I'm still in the same. Yeah, I haven't left it. Alright, let me see here.
Oh, that was the ghost of Graves.
That was a cheap shot right there.
To our fans out there, if you go on
That was-
Netflix, there's actually them digging up the ET. They find it and start digging. It was actually really interesting. I was watching the other day documentary on it.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys
what's
seen it
really
before.
cool too is the harmony, right, that I just mentioned. For anybody that really had like super duper problems with ET and stuff, it's worth noting that
They fixed it.
some determined soul out there actually hacked together a version of ET that fixes most of the big complaints of the game.
But you give the guy credit. I can't think of his name right now. 6 weeks to finish the game. That's pretty impressive.
Howard Scott Warshaw.
Yes, he was there at the.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought a lot of people too. It was really interesting. I'm glad I watched it. So I recommend it if you want to learn the history, and you don't feel bad for him because it ruined his career.
Yeah, the movie's called E.T. Game Over, I believe, isn't it?
Is it?
Atari Game Over? I can't remember.
Something like that. It's really interesting because they go into the history of Atari and of Howard and everything else. Even Spielberg approved it.
Now the trick is that
Check my PS4.
when you go up, it makes a different sound as when you go down. So based on the sound it's making when you go up and down the stairs, you can tell if you're going up a floor or down a floor.
Are you looking up, Tyler?
Hmm?
Are you looking it up? So I'm looking it up too.
Yeah, it's called Atari Game Over.
Yeah. So yes, I recommend it if anybody's interested. To our one fan.
So level 2, way harder than level 1.
Do you have any other Halloween-ish games?
Let me go back to level 1 one more time, just so I could feel like I'm amazing again. Oh, look at that! They moved everything around. There is a game for the Atari called Halloween.
Do you have it?
I actually do. We can give that a go. Let me.
Do you have the actual cartridge or is it all in the Harmony?
Obviously, Mr. Pugmire, if I'm using the emulator, I have the actual cartridge.
Oh, okay.
Dash is a law-abiding citizen.
I'm a law-abiding something or other.
I was going to say, because it's fairly rare, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, like
2,600, right? Let's see how much it go for.
So, yeah, what's interesting is my Atari collection is not just my Atari collection.
It's your wife's, right?
My Atari collection is the amalgamation of my, ooh, wow. My Atari collection is the amalgamation of my Atari collection, my uncle's Atari collection, my aunt's Atari collection, and my in-laws' Atari collection. So,
Lucky.
the perfect union of all of our respective Atari libraries. So I've got, if we used to own it, I currently own it. So, all right. So
Holy
this
shit.
does look like it's based on the movie. Let me see here. I have no idea how to play this game. I've never actually played it.
I'm looking at the prices for Halloween right now.
All right. I'm a girl, I guess.
Looks like it.
Living in the material world. And I guess that's, who is that? Is that Jason? Or who is that? It's not Jason.
Michael Myers.
It's a different movie, isn't it? Who is it? It's Michael Myers, right?
Michael Myers, yeah.
Alright. There's some midget
Oh,
running around at the bottom of the
oh
screen.
God. Probably edit that part out later.
If I hold down the button, then the person follows me.
Are you trying to get
I
them
don't
to
know what
safety
the
or something?
significance of that is. Oh
lights are
wow,
going out or
lights
something.
go on and off in this level, in this particular screen. What happens if I just embrace the bad guy?
Oh.
No?
Ah,
Oh, I just got my head chopped off. That was pretty,
and again.
that's pretty freaking brutal. I just noticed I didn't give myself the floor there, so I should probably, there we go. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing in this game. I should probably
Go
read
through the door.
instructions. Alright. Ah, you didn't get me. You suck.
Oh, there's something down there.
Down to the bottom part of the screen.
Go back, and there's a door over there. Maybe if you go through it.
There was a door, you're correct.
Yeah.
Does it put me... This would be freaky. I could see this being freaky. Alright. Okay, that's apparently the end.
Try that door.
Now where do I go? Oh, look at that. It's like a magic. Alright. What we got going on here?
There's a little midget again.
There's a little midget. I have no idea what I'm doing with a little midget. Okay, he just got killed.
On a side note, Mr. Nikon is depressed because his Cubs just lost. So leave a like for Mr. Nikon.
Mr. Nikon, what?
His Cubs lost. He was at the playoff game.
Yeah, he's actually at the game too.
God,
Oh,
dude.
I got a sword. I got a knife.
Which
It's
didn't.
no good whatsoever.
And they lost 5-2.
Why is it? I got a sword and I still got my head chopped off.
Not a very good sword fighter. I don't know.
Now that said, I'm sure if I go and I read the instructions, right, like, this is actually a pretty involved Atari game. I'll bet you that if you've read the instructions and you actually know what the hell you're doing, or you're supposed to do, I bet you this is actually a pretty fun game.
Yeah, back in the day, Atari couldn't really put instructions in the game what to do. Ooh, it was dark.
Right. So that was.
Ooh. He got lucky.
All right, that is Halloween for the Atari 2600. Now what's really cool is, again, some enterprising soul actually made a sequel to Haunted House.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. There is a sequel. There's an unofficial homebrew sequel to Haunted House. It actually takes place, or it actually is built on the foundation of. Anybody here play Adventure for the Atari?
That's my favorite game.
Yeah. So they took the Adventure engine and they made a sequel to Haunted House out of it. So I'll show you guys that.
Oh.
Homebrews. I'm sticking to Halloween themed stuff mainly because
It's in a couple weeks.
Halloween's coming up. If you guys did not remember that, run out and buy the candy now. Right? Do not let your house be one of the ones with food or flaming food because you got.
Luckily, my house is in the back and it's dark at night, so no one comes back here. Tyler seems where I live. He knows where. He's what I'm talking about.
Let's see. Do I not have? Wow. I can't. Hang on. I'm gonna have to. I don't think I actually have it. I don't think I have the homebrew. What is it called?
Haunted House 2.
I thought it was Haunted House.
Haunted House.
Oh,
1 cent on Amazon.
I
I should probably buy it.
It's
Okay.
1 cent.
Yeah, I can see on Amazon, 1 cent shipping, $4. Right here, $4 free shipping. I'm tempted.
Wow. I cannot find it here. So while I'm looking that up, why don't you guys take some time to kind of just mention, what are some of your favorite Atari games? What ones do you remember most fondly?
I remember playing the hell out of Adventure. I was like 5. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had fun doing it.
Yeah, I liked Adventure. I liked Venture as well. It was a Coleco game. I think I like that one actually a little bit more. I really like Pitfall.
Yeah, when I was in the YMCA daycare, that's all we played was Pitfall.
Right. I got a. I didn't experience this as a kid, but I got an Atari 800 XL as an adult, and they'd actually got some really good games on there.
You know, said I love Adventure and Pitfall. I have neither game in my collection at the moment.
Yeah, I mean the versions of Pac-Man and Donkey Kong on the computers are really good. I mean they're yeah.
What's your favorite game, Dash?
My favorite one, I have to say, Haunted House is definitely one of the favorites. It's hard to pick one for the Atari. For me, Yars' Revenge. I spent a lot of time with Yars' Revenge as well. Star Raiders. I played a lot of time with that. I used to just Star Raiders was cool because it was one of the first Atari games that really felt kind of fast. I thought that they really, for the era, you played it with the touchpad.
Yeah.
And you had a map, you had the hyper warp, you could turn your shields on and off, you could turn your computer on and off. You had like all these. You had more than just one button, right? That you could do, and you could go to different sections on the map and jump from one section to another. The way they did the stars kind of like flying by on the screen, I thought was really, really neat. So I could that one, I would play that one just to kind of fly around space and just pretend that I was really like, this astronaut and stuff. It inspired in me like kind of like that awe for like, space and travel and all that other stuff. Way more than like an asteroid. Like I had a hard time with games like asteroids because I'm a triangle shooting,
I think you're talking about a real asteroid, and I was like, oh, he's talking about the game.
No, like I had a real hard time with asteroids, the game, kind of like imagining. Most Atari games, I had a hard time really like flying into. I know I'm not playing tennis. There's like this sliding bar thing, and it's like the ball's not even a ball. It's like a square that I'm like not doing.
You know what's funny about Ataris? I mentioned this before. They have like really nice graphical images on the carts.
Yeah.
It's nothing compared to the actual game.
So I guess what I will say, so games on the Atari that blew me away graphically, right? Battlezone was
That's a good one.
awesome. It's like wow, like it's like I'm a tank on a battlefront. That game graphically just blew me away. Star Raiders blew me away. A game that recently blew me away for the Atari was called Solaris. And the graphics for Solaris, had I known that game existed back in the day, this would have easily replaced Star Raiders as my favorite game. The graphics for it are absolutely fantastic. There's actual planets that you can fly to, and you can fly over the planets and stuff, and it changes to like a whole different kind of mode. There's actually a way to beat the game. Some folks have written some guides. You have to go to different planets in a certain order, and take out certain installations on the different planets and stuff. Really fantastically done. I found out later, after I'd played the game, that the reason the game looked so gorgeous is because it was one of the few Atari games that actually had additional hardware on the board. It actually had graphical assistance circuitry on the board that enabled it to have better than the average Atari graphics. So I thought that game just impressed the hell out of me.
It's interesting that you mentioned Star Raiders and liking it so much, because it's kind of a funny story. I bought it at a yard sale when I was a kid, so I didn't have anything. I had no knowledge of it until I bought it, and I didn't buy the controller because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell is this game? And I never did understand it till like a couple of years ago when I bought it again and started looking at it. And I was like, oh, that's why it never made any sense. I thought you just flew through space and could do anything.
You're talking Star Raiders or you're talking
Yeah.
Solaris?
Star Raiders.
Yeah. So Solaris was kind of the same way, right? Like both Star Raiders and Solaris, you had to have the instructions.
Mm.
Right? It's kind of like that Halloween game that I just played. Like Jeremy said, like there is no tutorial, there is no first level like. Here's Michael Myers. He's trying to kill you. When you pick up the sword, do the following. Right? There is none of that. It's like.
Throws you the game, and that's it.
Yeah, here's the game. Good luck, my friend. Oh, there, your head just got chopped off. Hit reset and try again. That's like that's the whole game. So, apparently, I was. Oh wait, hang on. We might. Oh, here we go. I'm in business. I'm in business.
I also really liked combat when I was a kid too. Now that I think about it.
Combat was really fun. Did you
I
play
sucked
the
at the
mode
game.
where the projectiles can bounce around?
Yeah.
That was always my favorite mode. You can kind of ping pong.
Yeah, mine too.
Have you ever made someone who never played with Atari, like nowadays, make them play it? They're like, this sucks. I'm like, you don't appreciate where this came from.
A lot of people don't. My son,
best friend was like that.
I'm proud to say, my son can appreciate. I won't say all old Atari games, but I was pretty proud. We had some company over a couple of weeks ago, and we were in the living room playing Seen It, which requires that we use the DVD player and blah blah blah. Anybody that hasn't played Seen It, it's part board game, interactive media thing. We have like movie Seen It, so they'll play like movie clips and stuff on the television, or they'll play like audio clips or something, and then you have to like answer a trivia question or something related to it, and then you move pieces on a board. But the practical upshot for my son was if we play Seen It, he can't play any of the first or any of the current generation consoles because they're all hooked up in the living room. So he's like, well, can I go upstairs and play, play any of the other consoles on the CRT? Like, sure. What do you wanna play? Because the games are still downstairs, but the consoles for the retro stuff is upstairs. And he goes, give me the Harmony card, right? And because there's a girl, our friends had a girl about his age, and he goes, I'm gonna show you where it all started, right? And he takes the Harmony cart and he goes up there and they're playing like Pac-Man and they're playing, like Missile Command and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, I'm like, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool. Because
That's something to be proud of.
he's like 12, right, or something.
Yeah, she was like 11 or 12, and he's like, let's go upstairs and play, let's go upstairs and play 2600 and everything. And then, she comes down later, right? And I'm like, what did you think of it? And I'm not expecting her to be like, oh, it blew my mind. It was so awesome, whatever, right? She's like, a lot of those games look like they were unfinished. So that was her takeaway from Atari. It was like,
how far have we come since then?
yeah, the games were okay. They were kind of simple and unfinished.
Yeah, but back in the day, that blew everybody's mind.
Yeah, she referred to them as like they had the placeholder graphics there, so she kind of got a feel for what the games were supposed to be, but
placeholder graphics.
They didn't look like they had the final graphics on there. So, because her dad, he currently works for Tesla Motor Company. Yeah, he worked on the all-wheel drive system for the Model S. But before that, he used to work at various different game studios and stuff on video games and stuff. So she's used to seeing like PlayStation 2 and 3 era graphics, and then you show her Atari, and it's like, wow,
what is this?
These look kind of like the tech demos that my dad puts together just to show off an idea he has before they make the real game. But yeah, so it is, it is what it is. We're a dying breed. I'm trying to figure out. I thought I had the thought I actually had the. Of course, my computer's not cooperating. I thought that I had the ROM for this other
Haunted
house.
House.
Apparently, I do not. I don't appear to have it. So I apologize. You will not be able to see Return to Haunted House this episode, but maybe next episode I'll be able to show you the wonder of Haunted House. In its place, I will close down the show because I noticed that we're about at time.
Yeah, we are.
So unless anybody has any additional details that they want to provide about the Atari 2600, maybe a favorite peripheral or a favorite game or a game that you were really looking forward to, but then you got it and you're like, okay.
It doesn't look finished.
Well, you remember, by the time it came out for me, it was long released already. I got my hand-me-downs for my mom, so there's like no games to look forward to.
Gotcha. There was one game in particular that I should give a shout out to before we close down the show. If I can, here it is. This game was made by 20th Century Fox. Remember that? Remember when 20th Century Fox used to publish games?
Yeah, they did MASH and something else. I can't
Yeah,
think of
I
it.
have MASH.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one was based on a movie,
Baby Force.
Mega Force. This game is awesome. You can kind of see a bit in the picture, right? This guy is like flying a jet ski. So you fly a jet ski that becomes an ATV when you land on the ground,
Wow.
and you shoot missiles to try to blow up, kingdoms and fuel silos and all kinds of stuff. It's a very simple game, but I spent so much time on this. Like, what was hilarious was when I was a kid, I totally thought that the whole purpose of this game was to just blow crap up until the game stops and shows you your score. I have since managed to get the instructions for this game, thanks to the eBays, and I learned that when that happens, it means you lost because you blew the wrong shit up. So for years as a kid, I happily, got game overs on this and partied as if I, beat the game. So,
1 million points, yeah.
yes! How come I beat the game this time with only 10 points? It doesn't matter. I beat the game, yeah! So the game actually, as it turns out, is much more challenging when you know what you're supposed to be doing and you try to just do that.
Interesting.
So, but I have to say, like, the gameplay is definitely more satisfying. So whether I know the same can be said for Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. A lot of them are, they're very pick up and play, but sometimes to know the nuances of it, what you're actually supposed to be doing, it helps to have the instructions. I would definitely say for folks that are, because a lot of folks don't have the 7800, right? They don't have the 26, they don't have the 2600. A lot of
Oh,
folks
you
are
know,
just downloading ROMs and loading up Stella and playing them. I highly recommend find a digital copy of the manual and read the manual to see how the game was intended to be played before you really judge the game, because a lot of the games don't have the benefit of digital manuals and tutorials and everything. So you could easily play a game like Haunted House, or not Haunted House. Well, yeah, Haunted House is a good
Yeah,
example.
Haunted House. Right.
I'm walking around. What the hell am I doing, right? Read the instructions. It's actually a pretty neat game, and you'll have just as many jump scares with that as you will with the latest Resident Evil, if you're truly like involved in trying to beat it. More challenging difficulty levels. And then the same thing is true of that Halloween game. I could see that Halloween game being a very tense game if you're actually trying to accomplish the purpose. Unfortunately, I don't know the purpose because I didn't read the instructions. So, but if you just jump into the game and you try to like power through it, it's probably gonna be frustrating. Tyler, did you have any game that you wanted to mention before we cut out?
Not.
Disappointment or favorite?
I don't know. I really liked River Raid as well when I was a kid. I have River Raid 1 and 2 now as an adult, which is kind of cool.
There's a River Raid 2?
There is. There is River Raid 2, yeah.
Is that homebrew or that's official?
No, it's a real game, yeah.
I'm going to have to add that to my wish list. I did not.
It's all right, you know.
Is that an expensive one? Is it rare?
You know, I don't know exactly off the top of my head how rare it is. I'll have to look into that and find out.
Alrighty. Well, folks, that is time. This has been Retro Reload. What are your thoughts on the NX? Do you think that we're going to see the NX in 2016? Do you think that it's going to come with its own portable, unit that might compete with the 3DS, or do you think they're going to bake in some 3DS compatibility? You've heard our ideas. Give us some of yours down in the comments. Another thing too is with the Atari. What are some of your best memories from the Atari? What are some of your favorite games, or what are games that you were waiting for and begging for, and then Christmas arrived, you got the game, and you go, what the hell? E.T. doesn't count. So they get too much hate. You have to give us a game other than E.T. that you were disappointed by. Heard enough of E.T. was a disappointment. Get the updated version, pop it onto your Harmony cart, and get over it. Check out the Thursday show. There's going to be another Halloween-themed episode for you guys with the East Coast crew. So, till then, game on.
I got one more thing.
Okay, throw it out there. Has to do with Fallout, I guarantee it.
Am I still on?
Go ahead.
I think we lost him.
Are you with us? All right.
You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think I know what he was going to do, folks. So, in the spirit of Jeremy, he'll be able to catch this after the show. Fallout 4 drops in 19 days, 23 hours, 17 minutes, and 29 seconds.